and I happened to get involved in arresting some of her friends. And when her friends noticed my name tag, they're like, "Oh my God, you're Danielle's father." And I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my, she's been trying to reach you all these years?" And I said, "Well, I'm right here, and here's my phone number." I got a call from Danielle in the next couple of days. She started yelling and screaming at me, saying how I abandoned her, how I left her. So me being desperate and wanting to see my child, I agreed to meet her at the first event was at the Boynton Beach Mall. I was like, wow, she's beautiful. I mean, she's a very beautiful girl, and she was a little reserved, you know, and she had the little, you know, attitude. "Oh, you're a troll, you're the police, you're this." I'm like, "No, I'm your father." It was very emotional. I mean, it really hit hard knowing that there's a child out there who didn't know who her father was and all the things that I wanted to do for her, but I wasn't able to do it.
We wanted Danielle to be a part of our family. We always did. And
we've sent her,
I mean, I don't know.
So much. We sent president's cards, which I don't think she got all of them. There's not one day in my life that I've not stopped thinking about Danielle, knowing that I've had a child, knowing that I wasn't able to raise her, wasn't able to change her diapers, wasn't able to feed her, wasn't able to watch her teeth come in, you know, not being able to watch her walk the first walk or say "dada." You know, there's so many things that I've missed. I'd always pay child support. And we thought that if Barbara would just raise Danielle, and even the court said I could have visitation. We even set up some supervised visitation, and she didn't show up. She's a victim of exploitation. She's being exploited as a child.
What Danielle is doing on social media, the clothes that they have her wearing, the things that they have her saying.
She's talking about oral sex. She's talking about STDs.
Just the other day, you know, you kind of asked a little bit before about our kids. We ended up telling them about Danielle, and again, it was like, oh my God, we've got to tell them that they have a sister this way, you know, versus how we had really hoped that we'd be able to talk with them about it.
You know, one of the big things to talk about my boys, Danielle's always wanted to meet my boys, her brothers, her half brothers. Mm-hmm. And Barbara wanted me to introduce the boys to her the last March.
You claim that you want to be my dad, you claim you want to be in my life, but you're doing everything out to get me. If you're really a father, why would you go to my worst enemy and who's a prostitute and be sleeping with her? His lawyer goes, "Oh, so she can't do virtual school? She has to do homeschool, not virtual school, right?" And the judge is like, they're the same thing.
It was certainly an emotional hearing, Danielle crying several times during it and pleading with the judge, telling him that she's a changed person. But nonetheless, the judge sentenced her to 5 years probation.
I'm going to put me in public school. For what? So you could see me get jumped every day? The judge simply asked the question, a program or probation. Then the judge was like, okay, I'm just going to give her, I'm going to put her on probation until she's 19 years old. So my driver's license was suspended for 6 months. I don't know if that counts as when I'm supposed to get it, if it's suspended for 6 months. Oh, the curfew, I have to be either home or out. If I'm out after 5 o'clock, or if it's from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m., I have to be with my mom. My PO just told me to give her 7 months, and that hopefully I'll be off. This is what caused me to be here. If I didn't steal the car, if I didn't do all this stuff, I wouldn't be here right now. I would be home living my life like a normal person.
Because she is only 14 years old, we're not allowed to show her face in court. Both her parents were present with their lawyers. Danielle facing 4 charges, including grand theft, which is a felony, possession of marijuana, and filing a false police report. When her father addressed the court, Danielle started crying.
I'm afraid what she's being pushed into and who is profiting from. This is no usual teen getting into trouble with drugs and alcohol.
The father is accusing Danielle's mother of not supervising her properly and allowing her to go on the Dr. Phil show. He said she's being pushed into bad behavior, including sexual behavior online. The judge wanted to make sure she won't fall back into old behaviors. The terms of her probation are strict. Her curfew is set at 5 p.m. She has to report to her probation officer on a regular basis.
If you go to the mall and you want to go look at dresses and one of your parents wants to go look at another department, then you're incorrect.
With inpatient care for mental health, for substance abuse, for all this stuff, I want to send her there. And when she gets better, because I truly think that she can get better, then she has an opportunity to be a child and she could live in our home. You know, we have a room upstairs, we can make her room. The boys would be ecstatic.
Ideally, if we had our way and we could wave a magic wand, we would be a normal family that's here, and there would be no craziness, no social media, no LA trips, and Danielle would be in our house with us and our boys.
She's gonna come around. One day she's gonna come to me, I know she will. You know, she could turn around and do so much positive in her life and share this story on how she's changed with other kids. She could share with families, talk about parental alienation, talking about bullying, talking about drugs, talking about underage sex, talking about stealing cars. You know, she stole a car one day to come see me. That's how desperate she was. If all these kids who are following her understood what this child has gone through, parents have asked me, they said, Ira, please stop your daughter because other kids are acting the way she is, thinking that it's acceptable behavior, that they'll get rewarded the same way Danielle is getting rewarded. She's crying out for help. She's doing these things for attention, and she's not getting the attention from the right people.
We've been contacted by TMZ. Ira's been contacted also by several other places to do interviews, to provide
FaceTime, interviews,
yeah.
fly me out to do shows.
And that's not what we've wanted to do, because that's not really what's going to help the situation, and that's not what's going to be best for Danielle.
Danielle needs to know that she has a father who cares about her. She has an extended family, a close family, 2 brothers, grandparents, cousins, aunts and uncles, a whole set of friends that want her to be part of our life, to give her a life, to know what it's like to be a child, part of our family, not the craziness that she's going through. She needs to know that I love her.